Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about the Canadian science fiction horror film Come True, which is about a young runaway that tries to enter a sleep study in order to A, get some sleep without being arrested, and B, make some money, and things get weird.
Yep, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. This movie has shades of Cronenberg, shades of Stalker.
Oh yeah. Like if you like those late 80s or mid to late 80s science fiction thriller kind of movies that David Cronenberg was really known for, then you're gonna really like this movie, because this movie 100% has those vibes.
Oh yeah.
Like right down to the fact that like the facility that she goes to for the sleep study feels like it was right out of like a Cronenberg movie. Like it feels dated in that way.
Yeah, like they deliberately found an area that they could make look like a shitty fucking hospital from the 70s.
Like the little monitors they're using to like monitor them while they sleep, they're like these old fucking like VHS tape monitors.
Yeah, the old like CRT monitors. Like they don't even have color, you know? Like, oh man. Another movie that this one kind of reminded me of was this independent film made in 2009 called Ink.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and in fact a lot of the music seemed very similar in places.
It also has that same kind of like indie do-it-yourself vibe to it. Like I have no idea how much money they had to make this movie, but like they pull off some really cool visuals.
Yeah.
Because this movie, because it's about a sleep study, it centers around dreams, and in particular dreams as they relate to Jungian philosophy.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of weird, trippy, like H.R. Geiger meets Clive Barker-esque dream sequences.
Yeah. They always the way they introduce you to the dreams is always by first person point of view, moving through like a dark tunnel.
And usually coming upon some sort of door and seeing some weird shadowy figures in weird positions.
Yeah. And there are they do a lot of different permutations on the dark tunnel. Sometimes it's a literal cave, sometimes it is simply darkness on the edges of your peripheral vision, and one time it's actually the mouth of a creature.
Oh yeah, that was a really great
Whoa,
visual.
yeah.
Like there's some really trippy, fucked up dream stuff. Like there's a point where she ends up dreaming this weird foot monster.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call it.
The leg monster that comes out like it's from fucking Silent Hill.
I'll tell you one thing, she can't defeat that monster. You can all kill me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some trippy ass fucking visuals, and now Jack over here is actually way more well versed in like Jungian philosophy. So the fact that the movie's kind of divided into these title cards, like the anima and the animus.
The first one is persona. The second one is the anima and animus. The third one is the shadow.
He was able to pick up on like the Jungian philosophy that I was talking about by doing that, and so it really helped to have him in the room watching the movie with me, because he was able to explain some shit that like I had no bearing for.
Yeah.
So this is not a movie for people who aren't willing to learn or who aren't well versed in that already.
Yeah, if you're not willing to meet this movie on an emotional and symbolic level, forget it.
Oh yeah. If you just want like fun splatter movie, you're gonna have to watch a different movie. This is not
one of those. This is a very like I compare it to Stalker for a reason, because like you know how like when they get to the room in Stalker, there's always that slow pan into the door. This movie does that constantly.
Oh,
does
yeah.
it all the time.
100%.
It's great. It always works.
100%. I also appreciate, just on like a pure aesthetic point of view, how much of like the science lab and stuff was done with like really cool neon lighting.
Yeah.
Like I just like neon lighting a lot, and it looks really cool. They also have a sequence that takes place in a club at one point, which has very similar lighting, though slightly different, because that's more fun party vibe as opposed to, oh god, what's happening in this lab vibe.
Well, yeah, because like there's that's the part of the underworld that's like kind of fun.
Yes,
because it's not all like terror. It's not, or it shouldn't be rather.
The other thing I really liked about this movie is how well it depicts being someone who's run away from home.
Oh yeah.
But but someone who hasn't strayed too far from home yet.
Yeah. You run from home, but you're still like living in the neighborhood that you fucking left because there are like places for you to like fucking hide out.
Like you were talking about, like that moment when she realizes she has to go back into her house to get some supplies, and like that staring at the house.
Yeah.
And trying to dare yourself to go in.
Yeah. Because like you can't be, if you're trying to get away from a parent, you don't want the parent to be in there. You know.
The movie doesn't really go into why she leaves the parent, but it's not really important to the story. To be clear. But like you do get the vibe that whatever it is, she really doesn't want to see her mom.
Yeah. For some reason, there's a really good reason for this, you know, because she goes to such extents to make sure she doesn't run into her mom. This is clearly not like attention-seeking behavior.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. I also just really like some of the scientists in this movie. Like they were just kind of fun to watch.
Well, they felt like you know, like PhD candidates. Yeah. You know,
like they're obviously there's obviously a lot of young up and coming like scientists that are working for the head scientist guy, and so like they're trying to get their bearings and figure things out with the study, and they're also like, because the study is a bunch of young people coming in to do the sleep study, they're more closely related to those young people, so they're able to connect with them more, but they're not supposed to. So I really like the dynamic there, and I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know how much more we could talk about without getting into like the more spoilerly vibes of the movie. Is there something else
well, the movie's really good. It's very well acted. It's very well shot. It's really well constructed.
It's a thinking man's science fiction horror film.
Yeah, it's definitely one that you're supposed to sit and puzzle over.
Or a thinking woman's.
Yeah. You know, it's really good. I give it very high marks.
Oh yeah, I really like this movie. This movie, like, I had no idea what it was going to be going in. I made that one joke when we were sitting down to watch it, like, the movie's called Come True, huh? All right, show me what dreams are made of. And then it did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. I was just being snarky.
Yeah. Oh, one of the things that we could talk about without getting into spoilers is the other phenomenon that this thing talks about is sleep paralysis.
Oh, that's true. Oh, God. One thing I really like that's very Cronenberg is how this movie has one foot steeped in, like, real science how science works, and another foot just dipping into the supernatural and the weird and the otherworldly. So, like, the stuff about like sleep paralysis and how it works and how it looks and feels so real.
Oh yeah.
As someone who's had it a lot.
Oh yeah.
The movie really kind of nailed it.
Yeah, I've only had it once or twice, but like I'm like, yeah, I'm not.
Even like the shadowy figure there, it's not quite what I see, but it's close enough.
Yeah, it's that feeling. Oh, you have the one where you have the feeling that something keeping you paralyzed?
No. When I paralyze, I see like it's like a goblin-looking thing. Like it's like.
Okay. Like from that old classic like gothic painting.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that. It's kind of like in the corner of the room, going like this.
Yeah. I don't see anything. I just can't move.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Like, here's the thing. Most of the time, I don't see anything, but when I do see something, it's that.
Got it.
Basically.
Got it.
But it's close enough to what they see in this movie, where it's just as creepy, you know? The weird shadowy figure with the eyes. It's unsettling, to say the least.
Yeah.
And it's extra unsettling because of, like, 90% of the time you're seeing it through these, like, old CRT monitors, which just inherently makes everything freakier.
Yeah, because if it was just, like, a dark spot in the scene as you saw it, it probably wouldn't work.
In like full HD?
Yeah, in full HD it would not fucking work. But on those like crappy little monitors, like having this like very low fidelity fucking shadow figure moving around.
The
was
fucking
really good.
Slow refresh rate, so it's like moving in still frames.
Yeah. You feel like you might be a few half seconds behind.
It kind of has that same effect as like the Weeping Angels, you know? Like, where like you
keep watching or it'll move.
Yeah.
You know? The whole movie also has that whole sensation of trying to run but you can't.
Yes, 100%. And that's caked into the story too. Like her being a runaway kind of like makes that from the get-go. She's trying to run away, but she keeps having to run back home for things. Hi, Cat. Hello. Did you come to tell us things? Okay, so the part of Interrupter will be played by Gomez today.
Yep, speaking of a little shadow with eyes, how you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Hello, kitty.
Did you just come here to extend this vlog's length by meowing at us?
He's just there to meow. He's not gonna step. Yeah, he's going back down the hall now.
All right, he might meow again. If he does, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack just hit that light. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's caked into the story, the feeling of having to run away but not being able to. Like at the very beginning, her having to go back to her house a lot because she either has nowhere to go, or having to get supplies because she doesn't have much money because she's a runaway.
Yeah, she's like an 18-year-old.
And then you get into the dreams, and the dreams have that too. You know, that same kind of element.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. We should probably move on to the spoilers.
We rented this through Amazon, so we actually paid to rent it. I do not know what other streaming services it's on, if any, but I will put my Just Watch thing that I've been putting in these vlogs right here, and you can pick your poison, whichever one works for you.
Yeah.
We highly recommend it. And with that said, we're going to move on to the spoilers because this movie gets weird, and I don't think we want to tell you all of the weirdness just yet. So, spoiler section. I don't know why I said just yet, because this is just yet.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Like, okay, so this is a movie that has a beginning, a middle, and a twist.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
And the twist comes at the very end, last shot of the movie.
It kind of pulls everything together. Because
yeah, it does.
As the movie devolves like a really good nightmare, it starts getting weirder and weirder to the point where you're not sure if you're in reality anymore by the end of it. You're like...
Yeah, and the last shot of the movie tells you what's happening.
Exactly. Now, before we get to that, some of the weirdness some of the cool stuff that happens leading up to that is... basically what ends up happening over the course of this movie is the people running the sleep study fuck it up. They do two things. Number one, dude scientist guy gets kind of obsessed with the main character and kind of stalks her around. And you know that it's an actual obsession because we later see in his dreams, he dreams of her.
Yeah.
So he involves himself with one of the patients in the study, which, you know, is kind of a no-no.
You really shouldn't do, yeah.
And then you have the girl scientist who kind of jumps the gun on the study and starts, taking some of the pictures of the dreams that they're watching and, showing them to the patients and going hey, what do you see here? The problem with doing this is that they're just at the part of the stage of the study where they're just supposed to observe the dreams. By showing the dreams themselves to the patients, you're now messing up the study.
Yeah, you're now affecting it.
Because now they might dream of that thing because you showed it to them. So she kind of messes up and jumps the gun on that. And so these two things kind of completely throws the study awry.
Another thing, important thing, the study that they're doing is that they found a way to record dreams.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. They found a way to record and play back dreams for people and to watch them in real time while someone's having them.
Yeah.
And that's basically and they've kind of realized from doing this study a couple times that there's this one figure, this dark, shadowy figure with eyes that appears in almost all of the dreams.
Yeah. Everyone dreams of a shadowy figure with bright eyes.
And it's specifically that period of dreaming that you don't remember. Yeah. So there's the dreams that you do remember, where you were walking and then you fell and then you woke up. It's not those dreams. It's the dreams when you're just falling asleep. The stuff that you never remember later.
Yeah, as you just fall asleep and as you're starting to wake up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the patients aren't aware of what they're dreaming. They're not even aware of why they're there. So the two of them getting themselves involved in this way and jumping the gun this way kind of completely fucks over the study.
Yeah.
And this leads to some weird ramifications, but you're not sure if they're ramifications or if this was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Because main character starts experiencing the dreams while she's walking around town doing shit.
Yeah.
And the cat's just meowing like crazy.
Yeah, cat's just meowing like a little son of a bitch. There is food, there is a door. What do you want?
All right, when we finish this vlog, we're gonna go in there and
handle whatever it is. Yeah.
Anyway, so she starts actually having shadows stalking her while she's walking around town and having these epileptic fits.
Yeah.
And passing out and then waking up later and her phone is missing and shit because someone stole it And so like she starts feeling like she's going crazy because she just starts seeing the figure.
Yeah, she's starting to see shit. Yeah.
So like she starts like demanding them to further ruin the study by letting her know what's going on.
Telling her what's going on. Yeah.
And this eventually culminates in them and the guy who really likes her telling her coming back to the study, them doing one last attempt at the study, and everything going wrong. She freaks out mid-study, runs out, and just then runs away. And the other two people that are left in the study, like, start entering sleep paralysis and seeing the figure in the room with them. And that leads to that really freaky moment where they both sit up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's this point in which, like, they're trying to check the equipment in the room, and, like, the shadow starts, like, stalking the person who's in the room, but you can only see it on the monitor. You can't see it in reality.
Yeah.
So they're, like, freaking out watching the monitor going, get out of there! It's a really cool, tense scene.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. And the, oh, God, it's hard to analyze the movie without giving away the ending.
I think we might as well get to it. But,
yeah.
Essentially what you find out at the very last scene of the movie, like literally the last shot of the movie, is you find out that the main character is in a coma. And all the things we're seeing is her dreams, her nightmares, and whatever attempt from the outside is trying to wake her up.
Yeah.
And so, and as a result of that, everything that's happening in the movie is 100% a dream. The whole question, what's real and what's not, all of it is not real.
Dream. Yeah,
it's all dream. It's real to her because she's in the coma.
Yeah.
But that, like, you were telling me about, like, how there's that moment where you face the shadow. Yeah. And then that's when dawn breaks and light happens. But for her, it doesn't happen. She faces the shadow.
Yeah, she faces the shadow and then runs from it, and everything gets dark. And I'm like, that's not usually what happens.
She re-enters the darkness, and then we end up in this weird point where she wakes up and she's killed the guy, and she was like a vampire, and you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, like,
and then she gets
a callback to when she at some point she sees the guy's dream.
Yeah, and in his dream, they're in love and they're vampires and they're like on the road together.
Yeah.
And there's like a dream part of them making out, which I want to say, for a minute there during this movie, I was a little weirded out because she was a runaway and we saw that she was in high school, and then the guy who's conducting sleep study like starts falling in love with her and has dreams about her, and then they end up having sex.
Yeah.
But they end up having a conversation where she makes it clear that she's 18, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, and it happens before the sex scene.
And then the fact that when you get to the end of the movie and you find out that all of it is her dream.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, all right, so we're dealing with her inner desires, and her inner feelings, and her inner conflicts.
Yeah, because this guy, it actually turns out that, because usually when you tell, the most common version of this story is like saving the princess from the dragon, right? Mm-hmm. You know, the princess represents the imperiled feminine principle of the person in question that you have to rescue from the big dragon thing.
Okay.
But in this one, it's the opposite. This is the female principal being guided and assisted by the male.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Given what happens in the later half of the movie, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, like, and I was actually, when they got to the anima section, I was like, are we going to do a thing where it turns out the guy's actually the main character and this
it felt
girl
like for a minute it was going to do that.
Yeah.
For a minute, it felt like it was going to do that, especially when like we start seeing his dreams and she's all up in it.
Yeah. It also makes like some of the humor of the movie. There's some very brief humor moments, but they're usually visual. Like at the point where this kind of movie always like the action stops. They're at a place called Take 5.
Yes,
you know, like shit like that.
Take 5, have some coffee.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good.
That was a really good moment.
You know, but like, yeah, all the dream imagery, all the dream within a dream imagery, the black and white stuff, you know, was really, 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 really good. Very fucking cool.
I also don't know what it meant, but I got vibes because of how much she stood out in her outfits throughout the movie. that the colors of her outfits were supposed to mean something over the course of it, because like in the first section, the persona section, she has that red and blue outfit, and everything else in the scene is like green. Like we're talking like Matrix lighting. And but she really stands out with the bright blue and red shirt. Kind of looks like Super Mario, to be honest.
Yeah. They actually did. You know?
And then in the next section, when it transfers into the next segment, the Anima and the Animus, she's wearing yellow. And I wasn't really paying attention to the later in the movie, but like by the time we get to the end of the movie, she's blended into the environment with everything else.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if that was like, that may have been an intentional like visual choice.
I guarantee that was intentional. Like in the beginning, you want to establish that she's the thing that stands out. Mm-hmm. So you do that visually. Yeah. And when she's wearing the yellow, that's kind of your unconscious like signifier of, well, something just changed because their outfit changed radically.
And it's not quite the green of everything else, but it's also not quite the blue and the red that it was before.
Yeah, but you're right. You know, I actually failed to pick up that last bit, which is by the end. The color palette is totally in sync with her.
She's in sync with all of it. You know, she's no longer standing out visually that way, outside of the fact that by the end of it, she's wearing like hospital gowns. Like,
yeah.
Or actually, to be fair, by the very end of it, she's just naked.
Yeah. She's just naked.
So I thought that was a really cool element. Like, this is a movie that I really want to watch a second time just to really analyze, especially since now I know where it goes.
Oh yeah, I really, really recommend this film.
Absolutely. Come true. Ask for it by name.
Oh yeah. The funny thing is I looked up the guys who made this movie. They made a movie called Our House that I haven't seen.
Our House? Okay.
Yeah, not His House, but Our House.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, and they also did the Father's Day segment of Holidays.
Oh, okay.
Which was the segment that we were like, that segment is awesome up until the very end.
Well, thankfully, this movie doesn't have that same problem.
No, the movie does not have
Honestly,
that problem
the ending makes most of the movie come together better.
It does.
Especially when you get to the point where she wakes up and she's now the vampire from his dream. You're like, wait, what's going on now?
Yeah. You're like, what?
What the fuck's going on? And now it makes more sense because you realize that his dream was her dream. He and all the characters in this are a different version of her.
Yeah, they're all aspects of her.
Absolutely. You know,
which is why the last chapter is called The True Self.
Yep.
You know?
I really like the way they deliver the information. She gets this like text message on her phone, and it's just like we do not know when in the dream you're gonna get this, but you need to know that you've been in a coma for 20 years.
Yeah.
And we are trying something new. Hang in there, like. And I was just like, oh, that makes now.
Yeah, now the whole movie makes sense. You know? It's a psychodrama movie.
It is.
You know, and it's a really good one. It's a really good one.
You know, it's got a bunch of science fiction, and because of how like weird and creepy it gets, it's very much a psychological horror movie. In the true sense that it's about psychology.
It's about the psyche. You know?
As well as philosophy. It's about both. But Jungian was the guy who bridged the gap between both of those ideas.
Yeah.
Carl Jung, not Jungian.
Carl Jung. Yeah, Carl Jung bridged the gap. Tried to bridge the gap between philosophy and psychology.
Yep. I also like that at the end of the movie, she has like gouged out dude's eyes, and when she re-wakes up as the vampire chick, because at the end of the day, she may have been 18, she was still too young for him.
Oh.
And with that pun, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
In your fucking sleep, man. In your fucking sleep. All right, you can find me in your fucking nightmares, and on Twitter @Count_Jackula, on Twitch, where I stream every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there. And also on Instagram, Satanic Jackula. I'm sorry, they're all different. Have fun.
And y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema. I'll be there. They're all the same. And he hates me for that, and I can't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my fault. They're all different.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
Shit went down.
No, these platforms are fucking shit.
Yeah.
And as per usual, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. These videos do better the more engagement they get. So engagement equals anything from commenting to liking it to sharing it with your friends. Do all of that, and you will have helped out my channel and gotten the video more engagement. And also be sure to ring that notification bell, because apparently with YouTube you need 1 million things clicked so that you actually get told that my video has been uploaded. So
oh yeah, but if I don't want to see a Mr. Beast video, I can't fucking avoid it.
No, you can't avoid them. They're just on the front page, baby.
It's all over the place. Hey, do you want to see? I fucking eat the world's biggest Buford. Like, fucking hell, man.
So ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you would like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, which means you subscribe and you send us money every month, then $1 a month can go a long way. And with that all said, we actually got another vlog set up to record, so you're going to be seeing me in this same exact shirt in like a couple days when I upload that. So see you then.